Haruhi's proposal. Split off into groups of 2. Search the city for mysterious phenomena. If we find any, alert the others via cell phone. That is all.
I guess we got our groups.
It might be a lucky day for me after all. I mean, if I can go on a date with Miss Asahina, treating everyone to lunch because I was late is a small price to pay.
Kyone, are you paying attention? Would you be serious here? This isn't a date. Got it?
Yeah, I hear ya.
Look, this isn't fun and games. You mess around and I'll kill ya.
And with those parting words, Haruhi's team left to investigate the east side of the station, while Miss Asahina and I were ordered to search the west side. However...
What should we do?
Beats me.
This is the first time I've ever gone for a walk like this.
By like this, you mean...
Out walking alone with a boy.
Come on, I can't believe that. You're telling me that you've never gone out on a date with anyone before?
Never.
You're kidding, right? I mean, don't you have guys just lining up to ask you out?
But I can't do it. You see, I'm not supposed to go out on dates with anyone. At least not in this... Kyone, I've got a favor to ask of you.
After a couple of false starts, Miss Asahina finally started putting her words into complete sentences and began to explain.
You might not believe a word I'm about to say, but the truth is I'm not actually from this time plane. I come from the future. I can't tell you from which time period or time plane I come from, though. Telling anything about the future to anyone from the past is restricted. I was told this before I boarded the time machine. Think of it as being a lot like animation. The pictures look like they're in motion, right? But it's just a series of still frames laid out in a sequence. Time's just like that, goes to zero. That's why time traveling is moving in a three-dimensional direction along the various time planes. I'm from the future. That means on this time plane, I'm sort of like an extra picture in the middle of one of those flipbook animation things.
What is it now?
As for me, I'm here because a large timequake happened 3 years ago. That's 3 years ago from the current time in this plane. We arrived in the past to investigate, and we were surprised once we got here. No matter how hard we tried, we couldn't go further back in time from that plane. The conclusion was that there had to be a large time gap between the time planes. It wasn't until recently that we found the thing that caused it. That is, recently in the future where I come from.
So what is the reason?
Miss Suzumiya.
Not again.
She was at the very center of the time distortion. And I can't explain any more of this to you because it's classified information. But we are certain that it was Miss Suzumiya who closed our access to the past.
It's hard to believe Haruhi would be able to do something like that.
Believe me, it's a mystery to us as well. And Miss Suzumiya doesn't realize that she's the cause of a timequake either. That's where I come in. I was sent here to see whether or not there'll be any new time anomalies occurring near Miss Suzumiya. I guess I'm kind of like a watchdog. I'll understand if you don't want to believe what I just told you.
No, it's not that. It's just, why are you telling me?
Because you are the one that Miss Suzumiya has chosen. I can't explain because it's classified information, but you're very important to Miss Suzumiya. There are reasons behind everything she does, every time she raises her hand or takes a step.
What about Nagato and the new guy?
Oh, well, they are in very similar positions to me. I never expected Miss Suzumiya to get us all together in such a precise manner, though.
So that means you know who or what both of them really are, right?
That's classified.
Can you tell me what's going to happen to Haruhi?
That's classified.
Well, if you're from the future, you already know what happens, right?
That's classified.
Well then, why don't you just tell Haruhi all this stuff?
That's classified. I'm sorry, but I'm not authorized to say anything right now. You don't have to believe me. I just wanted you to know about it, that's all.
I just heard the same thing a couple of days ago, didn't I?
I'm sorry to dump all this on you like I did.
Don't apologize, I don't mind. So now we've got an alien and a time traveler. What's going on here? If there's anybody out there who believes in all this stuff, please call me. We'll trade places. Miss Asahina.
Yes?
You mind if we put all this on hold? I mean, is it okay if we just put aside whether I believe you or not, and just get back to it later?
Sure.
Before we do, can I ask you one question?
Yes, what is it?
If you wouldn't mind, could you tell me how old you really are?
That's classified. terrified.
After that little conversation, Haruhi called me on my cell, and we all got together again at noon.
Find anything?
Nothing.
Were you guys really looking? I hope you weren't just wandering around, Mikuru. No.
What about you? Did you find anything? While we ate lunch, Haruhi said she wanted to split up into groups again.
An unmarked one again.
We'll meet back at the station at 4. Make sure to find something this time. You got that?
This time, we split up to search the north end and the south end. Nagato and me took the south side. You know what you told me about the other day?
What?
Well, suddenly I find myself thinking that it doesn't really sound so far-fetched anymore.
Oh.
If I have to pass the time with Nagato, this is about the only place to do it. Oh, brother.
What time do you think it is, you idiot?
Sorry, but I actually just woke up.
Huh? What did you just say to me?
We were supposed to meet you at 4, right?
Get your butt back here! You got 30 seconds!
I had my work cut out for me. We had to leave, but getting Nagato to move when she's reading is impossible. First, I had to get her a library card so she could check out the book. Meanwhile, I had to ignore the incessant calls from Haruhi.
Late! Penalty!
In the end, we didn't find anything even remotely close to phenomena. The day's activities were a waste of both my time and my money. Before we split up, though, Miss Asahina
I wanted to thank you for listening to my story today.
whispered into my ear, which felt pretty good if I may say so.
All right, spit it out. What were you doing today?
Wait a minute, what about you? Were you able to find any of your mysterious phenomena today? Well, they wouldn't be careless enough to let you find them in one day, right? I mean, what did you expect anyway?
We're gonna need to review your behavior on Monday.
And with that, she stormed off. You're kidding me. The weekend was over, and I was sweating from all the humidity this morning. Oh, the rainy season. Haruhi walked in right before the final bell rang.
Send me some of that breeze.
You're on your own there. Hey, Suzumiya, ever happen to hear the story about the bluebird of happiness?
What about it?
Never mind, it doesn't have to do with anything.
Then don't talk about it.
After being showered from behind by Haruhi's aura of unpleasantness all day, I fled to the safety of the clubroom, much like a rat running from a brush fire. There was someone I needed to talk to. Koizumi, don't you also have something you want to talk to me about regarding Suzumiya?
I get the feeling that the other two have already talked to you about her. Am I right?
Yeah,
Well, how much do you know?
just that Suzumiya isn't your ordinary person.
Good. That'll make my side of things easier, because that's definitely the case.
How about you start by telling me who you really are?
Well, as you might have already guessed, I'm what's called an Esper. It's best we call it that for now, okay? To tell you the truth, I wasn't planning on transferring into this school so suddenly, but the circumstances have changed. And I have to say that I really didn't expect the two of them to join up with Haruhi Suzumiya so quickly. Either way, I'm sure we're going to have the chance to talk more about all this later. A picture's worth 1,000 words, they say, and I definitely have something to show you. But for now, I think I'll give you the short version. The organization that I belong to has other Espers besides yours truly. Actually, the school's already been secretly infiltrated by a bunch of us agents, and ever since the organization started up 3 years ago, we've been watching over Miss Suzumiya. 3 years ago, that's when something very interesting happened. And that is also when the powers I have now awakened inside me.
How is Haruhi involved in whatever happened 3 years ago?
You see, the elders in the organization believe that this world is sort of like a dream that a certain entity is showing us. Because it's all just a dream, it'd be quite easy for that entity to alter our reality. It could change it, destroy it, even create a new world. And we're pretty sure that we found that entity right here.
You're saying that's Haruhi?
For millennia, people have referred to such an entity as God or something similar.
Well done, Haruhi. You got people calling you a god now.
Just look at it this way for a moment. You got Espers like me as well as beings like Mikuru Asahina and Yuki Nagato all hanging around in the same place. You think it's simply coincidence that we've all come together like this? It's all happening because Miss Suzumiya wished it. She wished for it 3 years ago.
So are you saying that Haruhi remodeled the universe 3 years ago?
Well, it would be more accurate to say that this world started 3 years ago. It's better than saying it was remodeled. Anyway, it's just a theory us Espers have.
Whatever. And just what do you Esper guys want to do with Haruhi?
Listen, if this world upsets its god, it'd be destroyed and recreated in the blink of an eye. We want to prevent that from happening. I mean, I kind of like this place. Warts and all, you know?
Why don't you just walk up to Haruhi and talk to her about it?
Well, there are some members in the organization that think we should do just that, and others think that we should be more aggressive in stimulating her powers. Either way, most of us think that this is definitely not something that we can easily get involved with. The bottom line is that she doesn't yet realize her true potential. If that's the case, the organization feels it'd be best if she never finds out about her powers and lives happily ever after.
You're gonna let sleeping gods lie, huh?
Good way of putting it.
You sure you guys aren't the ones dreaming this world up?
I guess that's also a possibility. But as of right here, right now, we're simply acting on the worst of worst-case scenarios that we can come up with.
I got an idea. You're telling me you're an Esper, right? If that's really the case, then show me your power. If you can do that, then I'll believe everything you've said to me. For starters, how about you try heating up this cup of coffee here?
While that would be rather convenient, my powers aren't like that. In fact, most of the time I don't have any powers at all. It's only when all sorts of conditions are present that I can actually use them. And like I said before, I believe I'll have the opportunity to show you in the near future. I do apologize for speaking for such a long time. Now excuse me, I think that's enough for today. See you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, the biggest mystery is definitely you. I know it's kind of rude, but I did some checking up on you. I hope you don't mind it. I assure you that you are an ordinary human.
I'm so sorry about that! Jeez, you don't have to do everything Haruhi tells you to do. For some reason, Haruhi never showed up to the club room that day.